What is up, everybody? This is your boy Claymore Lord coming to you with another video. Before it starts, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and stick around to the end. Alrighty. So as you can see in the name of the title, I'm basically going to be telling why, me personally, I think men are superior to women in objective points of view, not subjective, not oh, I think men are better because we're men. Nah, I'm going to back it up with reason. And the reason why I'm actually making a video like this is because there's a video I watched a couple days ago where a guy went around and asked women, what are y'all better at than men? And, the lady, or quote unquote ladies, gave plenty of reasons, which are all completely true. They are quicker to empathy and quicker to be compassionate and wanting to help out and more people person than men, which is totally respectable in my point of view. But when he asked her, what are men better than women at, she couldn't, come up with an answer. And so further on in the video, he even went to different dudes asking them what men are better at than women are, and they couldn't even say anything. So I'm going to let people know what men are really superior at to women from a person who is not politically correct. I don't deal with that BS. I don't deal with the whole control by news. I think for myself. I believe in what I believe in with no outside influences. This is all based off of what I perceive the world. And yeah, let's get into this real quick. First of all, men are superior in brute strength. Why, oh why is this such a issue? Why do you think they have the rule men should never hit women? That came up, that saying was invented by a man because he clearly saw the biological and strength differences between a male and a female, that to get into a fight or get into some type of altercation would always be one-sided. It's like you playing a game of chess and you're a master chess player, and you're playing against someone who has never played in their life. You cannot say that there was skill on both sides. It is completely one-sided. It's not fair. So that's why, when the whole gentleman was still a thing, that was our canon rule. Don't hit women. But of course there are exceptions to that rule. In my opinion, I believe there are plenty of reasons to freaking deck a woman. Do we do it? Not often. At least I don't. Unless it's absolutely necessary. But overall strength. An example, I was over my landlady's helping her move some of her couches around and helping put up her Christmas tree because, first of all, she's much older. I think she's like twice my age. And, she's got problems, stuff like that. But when I got over there, it was her and another woman trying to pick up a couch to move it, and they were having trouble. But yet me, myself, being as thin as I am, was able to pick it up and move it with no problem. So that right there shows the clear differences between men and women, that one man, my size, was equivalent and stronger than two females. So that's the first thing. Second thing is we think logically. We think reasonably. We think rationally. If something happens or something is a problem, we don't look at it with the emotion that it inflicts on us. Do we feel that emotion? Yes, of course. But we know if we handle it logically, if we handle it with thought, it will turn out a lot better in the end compared to women who act purely on emotions. And of course, that's how we are, that's how they are. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just how biology works. And that's why when it comes to decision makings for thousands of years, men were and still are the dominant figure in any type of establishment, whether it be a castle, a home, a business, being in some form of power. You always see a mass majority of females. Granted, there are a lot of males in history that went completely AWOL and just completely destroyed everything. But then you have other type of men who prospered for thousands of years and even down multiple generations by the way that they taught. Look at any successful Roman emperor who had multiple generations of offsprings following in their footprint. They were successful. Why do you think Rome was one of the most successful cities in the ancient time? Because granted, there were a couple emperors who were horrible, but a mass majority of Roman emperors are what we as today are founded on. Look at the architect, look at the democracy, look at how the government operates, though corrupted to a degree, I will admit, has that form of government, that form of Roman touch that they existed over 2,000 years ago. I mean, when you can pack such an influence over millennia, you're doing something right. And most of the people who ran Rome were dudes. So that's another reason. Not only are we physically stronger, we're far more intelligent in the form of reasonable, decision makings and not acting upon impulse, but reasoning and logic. What would my actions do to cause blank? What do I got to do to get the best outcome? Another reason why is men work longer hours, we work harder paying jobs, and we do the things that women don't do. Prime example, before I started working at Crackle Barrel, I looked up how much, or all the positions that were in Crackle Barrel, and I looked at how much each of those positions got paid. And depending on how much they were, I went with what paid me the most, which is dishwashing. I'm not going to say how much I make because of confidential reasons, but just know when I was in my orientation and we were all getting, our pay stubs and basically how much we're getting paid, every single girl in there, minus myself, went for something lower. 2 of them went for servers. And you can say servers make a lot of tips, but that's the thing. It's only if they make a lot of tips that they make more than me. Their starting pay was $2.13. Mine was over $9. I don't have to work nearly as many hours to get the same amount of pay as they do plus their tips. I can work 4 hours at my pay and equivalent their whole 2 days worth of shifts at $2.13. And none of them wanted to do any of the cooks or any of the dishwashing or any of the truck unloads. Which, honestly, truck unloading, they got paid, I want to say it was like $13 an hour. So, yeah, but there's a different story. But the women, they went for serving, which is completely not an issue. I find that very respectful because you're the one who has to make sure the customer service is perfect. But if you want to make the most money, you need to do the job that is the most difficult or the most demanding. Serving is not hard. I did that for 5 years at Sonic. It's not hard. That's why servers don't get paid that much, because it's not hard. Anyone can do it. And then, of course, if you do your job to a decent degree, you get tips for freaking... there's plenty of days where I came home with $60, $70 in tips working at Sonic Car Hopping. I mean, if you do your job right, you can go home with some bank. But if I get, $9 an hour, I can make that $70 a lot faster than having to run orders at $2.13. Let me think for a second. I know there's one more thing that was on my mind before this video ends. I don't want to keep it too long. Just the fact that when it comes to relationships, you cannot tell me any sane woman would say, oh, if a burglar came in, you would grab the bat and leave your man upstairs and you go defend off the burglar. No. They always had the men, which is my final point. Men are the protectors. This kind of ties back into the first one, where men are stronger. Because we are stronger, we are meant to protect. And an anime that I watched, God knows how many times, has a line in there from one of the dudes that is perfect. Those with strength do something about it. The weak cling to words. And that, I love that statement, because those who have power, those who have strength, do something about it. That's why anytime that something happens within my life, I don't just complain about it. I do something about it, because I have the power to do so. Not physical strength, I mean, that could be a part, but I have the control in my life that I can determine what happens and what does not happen. And a lot of it has to do with my decision making. I decide not to tell people certain things. I decide to go to certain places at certain times. I decide what is the best option. And that's why I feel men are superior to women in that aspect. If you're walking down a dark road or a dark alley and you have no protection, that's stupid. If you have protection, you can use it to protect you. But if you have nothing and you know that if you're a female and you're not physically strong to take on any man, why would you go into a park without something on you too that can protect you? I mean, that's not smart. You know, if you know having a kid when you can barely pay for your own bills, that's not a smart move. That's a dumb move. If you know going for a job that pays less than a guy who does something else that gets paid more, that's a stupid decision. A lot of decisions that you can make that will better your life is the reason why men are tend to be better off in life than women, because men choose the smarter route. They choose the safer route. They choose the route that would guarantee them the greatest benefit with the least amount of risk. Why do you think, like for an example, me personally, I'm not going to get married unless my wife signs a prenup. That's stupid. That's just me saying if shit hits the fan, there goes half my stuff too. I paid for all this stuff. I'm keeping all of this stuff. That's smart. But anyways, hope y'all liked it. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.